The console wars keep getting more and more interesting by the minute. Now we even have the digital console wars between Sony's PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and Microsoft's rumored Project Lockhart, which we'll refer to as the Xbox Series S. Let's take a look at both of these consoles and see how the war between Sony and Microsoft is shaping up on the digital side. There's nothing better to start with than the specs of the consoles, so let's kick things off with the PS5 Digital Edition. Now, we know that the PS5 and PS5 Digital Edition are going to have the same specs, and that those specs have already been released. All the specs other than the disk drive will be the same in both versions, meaning games should play equally as good on either version, so you don't have to worry about one being better than the other. As for what those specs are for the PS5 Digital Edition, we're looking at an 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU, running at a variable frequency. As for the GPU, it's a custom RDNA 2 GPU with 36 compute units capable of producing 10.28 teraflops. Also running at a variable frequency. It'll have 16 gigabytes of RAM and an 825 gigabyte solid-state drive with much faster read and write speeds than the Xbox Series X. It'll support up to 8K resolution for select games, as well as 120 frames per second gameplay and ray tracing. The PS5 Digital Edition is going to be one heck of a machine. As for the Xbox Series X, leaks indicate that it's going to be significantly weaker than the powerful Xbox Series X, with only 4 teraflops to the Series X's 12. That's somewhat hard to believe considering the current generation Xbox One X has more teraflops with 6. But that's what multiple different sources are saying, and it does actually make sense. Sure, the Series S would be significantly weaker than the PS5 Digital Edition by around 6 whole teraflops, but that's not as horrible as it sounds. Of course, this will undoubtedly be felt when playing games for Series S as opposed to Series X or PS5, but it would most likely still be an improvement over the current generation. Due to AMD's advanced RDNA technology, the Series S should produce better gaming performance than the Xbox One X, as that console is based on older GCN4 architecture. The Series S is also rumored to have 16 gigabytes of RAM, just like the Series X, but it differs in the fact that it's rumored to use an APU as opposed to a separate CPU and GPU. As for which APU it'll use, it'll most likely be going with the 4 GHz AMD Ryzen APU, which would equate to about 4 teraflops of GPU performance. Supposedly, it'll also be able to play games at 60 FPS at 1440p resolution, which means it probably won't support 120 FPS and 8K resolution. If these rumors are true, then it wouldn't even support 4K, which is quite shocking to be honest. All of this information really has us questioning the longevity of these next-gen consoles. Consoles tend to last around 7 years or so before a successor is released. The PS5 Digital Edition should be able to get you from 2020 all the way to 2027 no problem. Sure, they may release a PS5 Pro down the line, but just like with this current generation, you won't need to upgrade since it wasn't a huge improvement from the regular one. Sure, it gave us 4K resolution and smoother gameplay, but it wasn't a necessary upgrade by any means. And the same thing goes for the Xbox One. The Xbox One X is great, but not a must-buy upgrade. The Series S, on the other hand, might not have the specs to last you until 2027. Like we said, 4 teraflops isn't a lot, and it's actually quite lower than 6 teraflops, which is the average for a modern gaming PC. If it's already a bit below par in 2020, then it's 100% going to be below par 7 years from now. To stay up to date, you'll most likely need to upgrade your Xbox Series S eventually, so that's why pricing is going to be so important this upcoming generation. And speaking of pricing, this is where things get really interesting. We're gonna be honest, all we have to go on right now are rumors and leaks, but a lot of them make sense. The PS5 is rumored to be $500, and since the digital version has the exact same specs other than a disk drive, tech experts are saying the digital edition will only be $50 cheaper, meaning it'll cost $450. As for Microsoft, there are rumors that the Xbox Series X is going to undercut both of Sony's PS5 prices and come in at $400. Seeing as the Xbox Series S is rumored to be significantly less powerful than the Series X, and won't include a disk drive, Microsoft can slash more than $50 off the price of the console, meaning it could go for as low as $300. That would be an amazing price point for a next-gen console, and it would be one of the lowest prices we've ever seen for a video game console, period. There's also a rumor that the Xbox Series S will be even cheaper than $300 and half the price of the Series X. But a $200 console in 2020 just doesn't make much sense to us. Microsoft would inevitably be taking a loss with each sale of the Series S, which is why $300 seems much more realistic. That being said, for $150 more, it might be smarter to go with the PS5 Digital Edition in the long run. It's better in literally every aspect and seems to be much more future-proof than the Xbox Series S. But if you're a gamer on a strict budget, you can't go wrong with the Series S. And that's everything you need to know about the PS5 Digital Edition and Xbox Series S. Which consoles are you interested in getting? How much do you think they'll cost? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to TheGamer for more gaming videos. As always, thanks a lot for watching.